Hey everybody, I'm Heather Smith and I'm out here on the road. I am one of the two co-founders of HRS Ministries. Founded this company, or this non-profit organization, with my husband Russell Smith. Our mission is to spread the gospel of Jesus in any legal form. That's broad spectrum, y'all. So I want to start doing a series, and this is going to be part one, take one, first rattle out of the box of this series. This is going to be a little bit of an interactive series, so you get to help me choose. We're either going to call it On the Road with HRS Ministries, or we're going to call it Under the Makeup, because this is going to be a very raw, a very close contact, a very intimate relationship series, because I'm going to allow you, the viewers, to ask us questions. I want you to ask us questions. What do we do out here on the road? What does our ministry do? What kind of churches maybe we go to? I've been asked that question a lot. What's it like full-time RVing? What are some of the things you encounter? So every week we're going to try to bring you a new episode, and we're going to answer specific questions. The way I'm going to have you ask questions, though, is I'm going to have you go to my website. We actually have two of them, www.heathersmithmusic.com or hrsministry.com. And I've got a form that says contact us on there, and you're going to give us your information and what question you want me to answer on this episode, or a future episode. You can also put, if you'd like us to answer the question privately, if it's something you don't want aired on the show, you can also put whether you'd like your name aired on the show or not, so we can do shout outs to people. All kinds of stuff, like keeping it within the realm of our ministry and full-time RVing. I am also a homeschooling mom. I homeschool two children, two daughters, 8 and 12 years old. They travel on the road full-time with us, and we live in this motorhome full-time. So one of the fun facts, I drive. This floors people. We went out and visited Johnny Rowlett and his beautiful wife Gail, very smart, talented woman also. And then we drove from Michigan over to Maine, and I think we went through 37 toll booths. I'm pretty sure we were at least $200. Yeah, I don't know. We have the tolls to prove it. We hit at least $200 one way, because our bus is an Integra coach, an Integra Aspire. We are a tag axle, so we are 3 axles on our coach and we are 2 axles on our truck. So, and they charge by the axles when you go through these toll booths. So we were charged for 5 axles at every toll booth. We were paying just as much as 18-wheelers. So I feel for you, truck drivers. Oh, homeschooling. So taking our daughters through that, it's fun because they get to see things that other kids don't normally see. They are experiencing our United States history as they're learning about it. Very fun fact for them. Every time we pass through a toll booth, these people would just like look at me wide-eyed and be like, "You drive?" And I'm like, "No, I jumped in the driver's seat like 50 feet back just to freak you out." No, I never told anybody that, but I wanted to a couple times. But yes, I drive all the time. My husband navigates. He's very good with a map. We use Waze. Johnny Rowlett actually was the one who suggested this app, and it's a really fun app because it not only it's really good at navigating around traffic areas, which we run into a lot, especially going through big cities. But it also tells you, like, warning, car parked on the side of the road. I prefer to scoot over and get away from vehicles parked on the side of the road. It's safer. It's what you're supposed to do. Some people don't know that, though. So it's... Vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead. There we go. Warning, vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead. So I know to get out of that lane and get away from them, and then I can get back over when it's safe. Fun thing about motorhomes is this coach, we call it a bus because to me it's a bus. It's on a Spartan chassis. It has a tag axle, all of our water and our stuff in this coach. We have a team. We have a great team. We've been gathering a team now for 3 years. I've been singing and songwriting for 3 years now. study the Bible, you'll begin to realize that all of that is an anointing from God for a reason. So our friend Tommy Brandt stumbled upon this. We were on a cruise ship, and I was trying to learn to play guitar from him for myself. Kind of selfish, but I was. And he actually asked me to sing a special on the cruise ship during a jam session. I did, and my pastor heard me. And that was all she wrote, because my pastor recognized the anointing immediately, and he literally kicked me out of the nest. He called me out. He called me out to do a special in my church. My church, home church, recognized it, and it was all spiral from there. It was all God from there. They sent us out. We started this ministry. We realized that we had a calling to go reach the lost, and we choose to do it through country music. Why? Because I like country music. You can do it through any genre. You can do it through any style, any method. The method that we like to use is country music. Always loved country music. A little fun fact, a little history fact on me. Tommy actually pointed this out because I was very frustrated at the time when we started singing. I started singing and songwriting because I wanted to do horses. I wanted to be a famous horse trainer, famous horse rider, and it was all me, my dream. It was very selfish. I wanted to do it to prove I was big. I wanted to prove that you could do it coming from a background of not coming from a family that was a ranching family or such. And I was very much so like, it's my time, I deserve this, I deserve to be recognized, I deserve to have this, and very much so me. Well, when God made me realize that I had made horses my God of my life, He gave me a choice. He didn't take it from me. He gave me a choice. I could serve horses and the horse world, or I could serve God. And I chose to give the horse world up and chose to serve God. It was my choice. Now I had to make that choice repeatedly because that's what Tommy recognized in me. I was complaining one night after a PBR event about how unfair it was. I felt like God was taking horses away from me and such, and it really wasn't. I had given it up. But He said, God will bring something back into your life that you forgot you ever wanted, or you forgot you ever had, or that you needed. And I look back in my history, and before horses came into my life, I took piano lessons. I took classical piano lessons in theory for 3.5 years. And what broke me out of it, what stopped the piano lessons and stopped the music in my life, was I wanted to play Garth Brooks. I wanted to play Dixie Chicks. I wanted to play Lori Morgan. I wanted to play Susie Bogus, Pam Tillis, Kathy Mattea. I wanted to play even some folk music, and none of my teachers would teach it to me. They said, no, you need to learn Bach and Beethoven and I can't even say Tchaikovsky. Probably saying that wrong. Tchaikovsky. I can't even pronounce their names. I know they're amazing, brilliant men that did brilliant music, but like I said, I wanted to play Garth Brooks, and none of my teachers would teach it to me. I also played by ear, and nobody would develop my ear. They said, no, you need to learn to read sheet music. And so I never learned my chords, I never learned my scales and such on the piano. And I ended up giving it up, and I moved on to horses. So years later, Tommy was actually one that pulled it out of, wow, God really had this planned out the whole time for me. I just was not on God's schedule and God's timing. So I've learned that getting into God's schedule, God's timing, and not following my dreams, but God's dreams for me, God's wants for me, is way, way better than following my own. So I really feel for these musicians and these artists and these people in the music industry today, because I see them, I see what I was with horses with them. I've worked on this business for 20 years. I've done this. It's my time. I've worked up here, and I've put the blood, sweat, and tears. I really feel for them, because that was me with horses 10 years ago. It is quite funny because I don't have that huge music industry background and that going through music as a career background. And so for me to walk into Nashville, and last January we signed a recording contract with Big Catch Records. ideal for us because on a ministry basis, because that's what we're all about. We're about the ministry. But I see people that become angry over it, like, how could you do that? You walked into it in just a matter of a few years. And it wasn't really, I mean, it was an open door. I just walked through the door. I didn't get the door open. The door was open for me. And I think that's what a lot of people need to recognize, is that it's God. And I think that's why he uses us, me and my husband, because it is a God thing. It's not me. I'm just walking through the doors he opens. And that's really what, one of the many things that I want to do with our ministry is we want to be able to help people in their lives recognize when God is speaking to them, when it's God's will, when it's God's way. And let me tell you something, music versus horses for me, I have more peace, I have more joy, I have more happiness, just everything over what I'm doing now than I did with the horses. Now don't get me wrong, I love me some horses. We can banter about breeds and bits and saddles and all kinds of stuff, man. But it is not near as rewarding, and never was, and never will be for me, as music is. That being said, if horses is your calling in life, I've heard some amazing preachers, y'all, use horses and how you train a horse and how it correlates with our relationship with God, and how God uses the love of horses to reach people. I've seen some amazing preachers called with an anointing on their lives to do it. And that's what it's about. It's finding what your calling in life is. It's finding what your meaning of life is. When you find that, there's no greater joy. So I think we're coming up to an exit here. We're going to get some fuel. But like I said, go to one of our websites.